In a small African village, there lived a poor trader named Omay and his wife. Omay had only a donkey and a goat. Every day he would take his donkey into the jungle to gather wood. He would sell the wood to make money, and that's how he and his wife managed to live. But for 2 or 3 days, Omay couldn't find any work. He had no money left, and soon they had no food or water. Omay and his wife became very worried. They didn't know how they would survive without anything to eat or drink. Omay, the poor trader, decided it was time to go to the city and sell his donkey and goat. He thought, if I sell them, I can make enough money to take care of my wife and me. He shared his plan with his wife, and she agreed that this was the best thing to do. The journey to the city was long and tiring. It was far from the village, and Omay would have to travel for a whole day. He put on his best clothes, which his father had once given him as a gift. Then he packed his things. His wife prepared some food for him to eat on the way and gave him some water to drink in case he got thirsty. With everything ready, Omay set off on his long journey to the city, hoping to make enough money to support his family. Omay set off on his journey to the city, taking his donkey and goat along with him. He tied a rope from the goat to the donkey's tail and attached a small bell, so he could hear the bell ring and know the goat was still following behind. After walking for a long time, Omay entered a thick jungle. Hidden among the trees were 3 thieves watching him as he came closer. The first thief said, "I will take the goat." The second thief whispered, "I want the donkey." The third thief thought for a moment and said, "There's nothing left for me, but I'll take the clothes he's wearing." As Omay walked closer to them, the thieves started planning how they would take his things. Omay, unaware of their plan, continued peacefully, not knowing the trouble that awaited him. The first thief quietly began his plan. He sneaked up behind Omay and untied the goat's rope from the donkey's tail. He left the bell tied to the donkey so Omay wouldn't notice anything was wrong. Without making any noise, the thief led the goat away. Omay, unaware of the theft, kept walking down the path. After some time, Omay looked back and realized his goat was missing. He panicked and started shouting, "My goat is gone! Help!" Hearing Omay's cries, the second thief came up to him, pretending to be helpful. Omay told him, "Someone has stolen my goat. I'm a poor man and I was on my way to sell it. What will I do now?" The second thief, acting concerned, said, "I just saw a man with a goat heading down that path. He hasn't gone far. If you hurry, you might catch him." Desperate, Omay believed the thief. "Can you watch my donkey and my things while I go after him?" Omay asked. The thief nodded, pretending to help. Omay, trusting him, quickly ran off in search of the man who had taken his goat, leaving his donkey and belongings with the second thief. Omay rushed through the jungle, looking everywhere for the man who had stolen his goat. He searched and searched, but no one was in sight. Tired and hopeless, he decided to return to where he had left his donkey and his belongings. But when Omay got back, he was shocked to see that his donkey was also gone. The thief he had trusted had disappeared with everything. Feeling completely defeated, Omay began to cry and shout. He sat on the ground, hitting the earth with his hands, filled with sorrow. He had lost both his goat and his donkey, and now he had nothing left. After losing both his goat and donkey, Omay was heartbroken. With tears in his eyes, he decided to walk back home, feeling hopeless and defeated. As he walked, he came across a well, where the third thief was sitting, waiting for someone to fool. The third thief saw Omay crying and asked, "Why are you so sad? What happened?" Omay told him everything, explaining how his goat was stolen first and then his donkey. The thief listened carefully and then decided to take advantage of Omay's situation. He made up a story and said, "What happened to you is bad, but something even worse happened to me. I earned some money after working hard, but when I came to drink water from this well, I dropped one of my gold coins in. I can't swim, so I couldn't get it back." He paused and then said, "If you help me by going down into the well and finding my coin, I'll give you half of it. That way, you can make up for some of your loss." Omay, still upset and desperate to recover something, thought about the offer. Not knowing he was being tricked again, he agreed to help the thief. Omay, trusting the third thief's words, agreed to help. He said, "All right, I will go into the well and get your coin." Without thinking carefully, Omay took off his clothes and jumped into the well, believing the thief's story. He searched and searched, but there was no coin to be found. While Omay was inside the well, the third thief quickly grabbed his clothes and ran away. After looking for the coin for a long time, Omay realized there was nothing in the well. He climbed out, only to find that his clothes were gone too. Now, Omay had lost everything: his goat, his donkey, and even his clothes. Feeling sad and ashamed, he realized how foolish he had been. With tears in his eyes and nothing left, he began the long walk back to his village, heartbroken and full of regret. When Omay returned to his village, he was still crying. The people of the village saw him and asked why he was so upset. Omay told them the whole story, how he had been tricked by 3 thieves, losing his goat, his donkey, and even his clothes. After hearing his story, the villagers couldn't stop laughing. They made fun of him and called him foolish for trusting the strangers so easily. But even though they laughed, they felt sorry for him. The villagers decided to collect some money to help Omay, so he could take care of himself and start his life again. Though Omay had been tricked and lost everything, the kindness of his village gave him a chance to begin anew.